What do you think of that? What don't you think of that? I think that girl has got everything.
These what? Do these ones look as spazzy?
No, they look fine on. It's when they're off they look
These are the different.
sophisticated.
These are the more spazzy looking ones.
I don't know.
The other ones are thick strap ones with
Yeah.
bone the ankle, whereas these ones are not.
They're more Jesus creepy.
They're Velcro. Now they're spazzy, yeah.
Velcro! We could have gone the whole day and I wouldn't have had to know that.
They're leather though. They're leather. And
I thought we'd do the Titanic TikTok today.
Okay.
I've got an idea of how we do it.
Okay. We'll just go with your ideas.
Right, so let's do the pod first. And then we've got another one in the bank because we ain't recording next Friday.
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, are we going to put this one out this week?
No.
We're going to put one of the others.
You put one out this week and then I'll do this the following week. Because I kind of want to see.
Yeah.
But if you're up to it, you said you found a few cases. This is a more simple case.
I've done very
minimal,
but like I've seen bits and pieces. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Like things that have actually caught because I don't.
Yeah. Yeah, I listen as I'm cleaning, so for me it's like, I mean, I do want to do Fred and Rose. I mean, I'll be doing my research as it is, but they are so complex and there's so much information, kind of like Joseph, but more. And it's more on a timeline. This is not really on a timeline. But there is, I've forgotten about the woman, I've forgotten her name, but she killed her kids, and I want to do her as well. So she will be more simple to research. So it's about finding someone, but if not, I will anyway. So it will then, by the time we're back doing the podcast, it will be here again. So if I do have it, we'll do it. If not, we'll just do our TikToks and have a laugh. Let's see how broken we are. Right, so it's Paris Bennett, yeah?
Okay, Bennett, I was going to say daughter.
I'm going to get a few places wrong as well, because obviously, even though I've written them down, my brain will go, where's that then? Right. Hello everyone, and welcome to Middle Aged Opinion. I'm your host, Ellie.
And I'm your host, Emily, and today Ellie is talking about Paris Bennett.
Yes.
I don't know who that is.
He's a wrong un.
Oh, it's a bloke.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a bloke.
Oh, right, okay, yeah, fair enough, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Paris is a girl.
Yeah.
I had Paris Hilton in my head.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, Paris is a boy.
Okay.
So, actually, that does help clearing that up. I mean, I'm going to talk about him, but at the beginning, I haven't mentioned that he's a boy, and you're right, it's a unisex name. So,
Paris is a dude.
Yeah, so it's true crime.
Yeah.
But today is going to be different from how I did my first true crime, because that was easier to go on a timeline, and because I feel a bit more comfortable, I've even written in some of my disgustingness, and I've got my own psychological theories as well, because I feel like I'm qualified at this point. He also, I mean, I don't know if I put it in, because obviously you know what it's like, but he does do a interview with Piers Morgan. So Piers Morgan, for anyone that doesn't know, he used to be a TV presenter, of the news.
Yeah.
He's
not allowed to anymore.
Yeah, you either really like him or you don't. I happen to agree with some of his views.
Yeah,
I'll say some, probably more than not. And that's just my personal thing. And I don't know if that's because I used to watch him every morning on GMTV.
Yeah.
But he then did a series, which you could look up no matter where you are, I'm sure, on Talking with Psychopaths.
I think I watched one of those.
Yes. So I've watched that. I've watched home videos, and I'm going to try. I said to Emily, I should be able to put in the 911 call, and I should be able to put in home footage and other footage. So what I'm going to do is, when I edit the video ready to upload, I'll do one with all of that footage in. If it gets taken down, then the other one will then go up in its place with just me talking and pictures. That's all I can do. But shall I get into it?
Let's go.
Right, sorry if it's not understandable. I've done my best as per usual. Right. Paris Bennett, born on October the 10th, 1993. So younger than us.
Rude.
Yeah. He
Why
was...
do you have to point that out?
Well, because we're getting to that point in our lives. He has been diagnosed, as a psychopath and a sociopath with narcissistic tendencies. So an all-round treat, yeah?
He sounds a delight.
Yes. His mother, Charity Lee, born in Georgia, born to Bobby and Kyle Bennett. Yeah?
Okay.
So Charity is Paris's mum, and her mum and dad are Bobby and Kyle Bennett. They had their own company, the parents, yeah? Mm-hmm. A trucking company. They were financially wealthy and they lived on a ranch. When Charity was 6 years old, her father was murdered by a hitman. After this, Charity would start to fall apart. Her mum was married between 6, 7 or 8 times. Charity cannot remember, as she was married so many times. She has lost count over the years, and the relationship between Charity and her mum was very toxic. So now I go, basically, I've watched the videos of her mum. So her mum has also given interviews, and there is also other home footage of her mum, etc. But really, watching the interview of her mum, she almost admits to having the father killed. She basically admits, it did go to, I should mention, she was arrested.
Yeah.
It did go to trial and she was found innocent.
Okay.
And obviously it's double jeopardy, so it's not like she can be tried again. And she basically admits in interviews that she hired the hitman to kill her husband, Charity's dad. So all of this is going on.
For any reason?
Money.
Oh my Jesus.
Yeah. So all of this is going on, but later on I'm going to go further on and explain to you. So sorry if I'm tracking off, but I think it's important in the outcome of this whole situation psychologically amongst the whole family. So, right. So yeah, so she basically admits to having her husband killed by a hitman. Charity's mum says she no longer manipulates like she used to, saying Paris, Ella, So Paris is Charity's eldest son. Ella is her second child of 4 years old. There's quite an age gap between Paris and Ella. Paris's mum talks about how everybody in the family, Paris, Ella, Charity, are very manipulating. She talks about that. She's a manipulator, but she says they're all manipulators. She also explains that her other daughter, which I couldn't find anything about her, was not so good at manipulating.
That anyone could wish for. We were inseparable. And then from 12 on, it's like an alcoholic. It's up and down, up and down, up and down. If she'd get mad at me because I wouldn't allow her to do something, it was, well, you murdered my daddy. So she was a good manipulator. But we all are. Paris is. Ella was. I would be lying to you if I said that I wasn't. We all manipulate each other. We're all spoiled rotten. My other daughter, Caitlin, I don't think she's quite as good. She didn't have as good a teacher because I don't do it so much anymore. I don't have a company to manipulate. I don't have drivers to manipulate. I don't have a jury to manipulate. So.
But the way that she talks about a 4-year-old girl being manipulating is another indication that the mum is off her fucking rocker, right?
Technical terms.
Yeah. No, it's more, I'm giving more of my opinion this time. Right. It is my belief that Charity's mum shows psychological, narcissistic tendencies. Mm-hmm. Like, there's something wrong with her mum. There's something wrong with all of them. Charity's mum was always disappointed in her daughter. Charity was never able to please or satisfy her mum, no matter what she did. She was academically clever and a high achiever, even finishing high school early because she was so clever. She did become addicted to drugs and thought about ending her life. Her mum then kicked her out of the house, giving her $100 and said, if you want to kill yourself, then crack on. No sympathy and no empathy from her mum. And honestly, I can't stress enough from watching the interview how disturbing her mum comes across. Yeah?
Yeah.
It's the way that she speaks about Charity and Paris and Ella. Yeah? It's very disturbing. It was then that Charity found out she was pregnant with Paris. Once she fell pregnant, she decided to turn her life around for her son. Charity was a good mum to her son Paris, making sure that he had everything that he needed. His dad didn't stick around after Paris was born, so it was simply Charity and Paris against the world. Paris was liked. He was extremely clever with an IQ of 141. Which puts him above most people. I believe it's classed as a genius. He's an excellent drawer with creative skills, and he still draws to this day. Charity said that he was calm growing up and a nice boy. All of Paris's teachers would comment on about how clever he was. They spent all their time together with just the two of them until Paris was 10 years old and Charity would fall pregnant with her second child, Ella. Paris was really upset by this and did not want to share the affection of his mum. Charity was worried how he would behave with the baby when it was born because of the things that he would say before the baby was born. But when Ella was born on the 12th of April 2002, Paris was like an adoring brother, showing so much love to his sister. However, if you go on to watch the footage of Paris and Ella, might be because I know the story, but in my opinion, he's side-eyeing, he's grabbing her around the neck, and he's saying things like, I want to kill you.
Which isn't particularly normal for a 10-year-old, right?
It's not.
10, 11.
It's not. It's just not a normal thing for anyone to say. No. Right. I think I've put things to remind me. I think the warning signs were there, but I also think you can miss shit like that. Do you know what I mean? Like as a parent, you're like, oh, shut up, don't talk like that. Do you know what I mean? When two siblings are together, but now we know. Yeah, I've mentioned that he says that he wants to kill her in a home video. They both have different dads. The dad of Ella also left when she was young. Ella was a very vibrant young girl with a massive personality and happy-go-lucky attitude. She was bossy, and if you remember earlier, I mentioned that Grandma said that Ella was a manipulator. From the day dot, yeah? I also want to quickly put in there, we all need to remember he's a diagnosed psychopath. It is impossible to love. So everything that Paris is doing...
logical.
Yeah, so everything that Paris is showing, I love my sister, blah, 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 is not real. It's managed behaviour. Because they simply can't. But yeah, so the mum then mentions again about how Ella is very manipulative, which is a bizarre thing to say about a little girl. She loved her brother, Paris, so much. Charity talks about how close they were. But like I said, if you watch the footage, it gives a completely different set of circumstance. But like I say, it's probably because I've now know the case. Charity then goes on in another home video footage to ask his mum what would be the thing if I said or that would hurt you the most. And then Paris answers by saying, Charity, aka his mum, losing both her children. So in his head already, he's like, what's going to hurt you the most? And then he says, losing both your children. So all three of them had a good routine, just getting on with things. When Paris was 11 years old, Charity would relapse on her drugs, and Paris would essentially be raising Ella and looking after his mum while she was in a drug-induced state. He began to resent her for this because the burden of looking after his sister and his mum was obviously too much. Charity had been trying to get her business off the ground, but things were not taking off. She was taking cocaine. She took these drugs for 6 months, and Paris felt completely and utterly betrayed by her relapse. He lost faith and trust in his mum, and he started to resent her. Paris' behaviour would now change, becoming dark. They would move from place to place, meaning that poor Paris would have to make new friends constantly. Charity, Paris and Ella would then go back and move in with their toxic grandmother, mum. They moved in so that Charity could get back on her feet, but being around that toxicity could not have been easy on Charity or the children. Charity and her mum had an extremely weird and distant relationship, making the living situation uncomfortable for everybody and toxic. Paris was now starting to act out, leading to an incident where he would be playing with Ella. He would then grab a toy, breaking it. Ella would start to cry, and Charity would then punish Paris. And Paris would go into the kitchen, grabbing a knife, and started waving it around. He ran out of the house, and then he would threaten both his mum and grandmother with the knife. They managed to get the knife off of him, but then would have him admitted for psychological assessment. Paris stayed for a week before Charity would go and get him. No report was given upon release, but later it comes out that apparently she did get the report, so her mum said. But Charity is adamant that she did not get the report. The report states Paris was obsessed with killing and shooting people. He wanted to cause harm to people. The fact that this was never given to Charity, if that's true, is crazy in my opinion, because surely that should have been a red flag. Like, he's gone in, he's been assessed, and they're like, shit.
And then they've just released him.
Yeah, I don't know if, because I don't know how things work, but because I think it was the mum and grandma that admitted him, I don't know if that still gives them power over.
I don't know, because he'd be classed as a minor as well, wouldn't he?
That's what I mean. So I don't know.
Not classed as he is.
Yeah.
At this point.
So doing the research, I don't know. Had he had these assessments, and he was also having suicidal thoughts, so I don't know if she would have let him stay anyway. Do you see what I mean? She went and got him before she was told to come and get him. I think even if she did get the report saying he's talking about hurting people, rah, I don't think she would have let him stay in the unit anyway. I think she would have had him released, regardless of yeah. That's my personal belief, and that is literally from the research I've done. Excuse me. Paris would smack his head against the wall until it was bleeding. There's also footage of him threatening aggressive behaviour towards his sister Ella. So there's even more footage. Like, as time's going on, she does a lot of home videos, and in these home videos, you can just, the way he talks to her, the way he grabs her around, there's just so many fucking warnings. Do you know what I mean? It's all there, but nobody was putting it together. Do you know what I mean? Right. In 2007, the family moved to Aberdeen, Texas. On February the 4th, 2007, Charity was at work and she had a babysitter watching Paris and Ella. Somehow Paris managed to convince the babysitter to leave early to go home around 10 p.m. at night. For some reason, the babysitter agreed.
What?
Yeah. So he's 13, Ella is 4, and he's like, go home at 10. And the babysitter's like, okay.
Could you imagine?
No, I can't imagine because she's being paid.
Yeah.
She's being paid to watch
Could you imagine
these
coming
kids.
home and be like, oh no, we sent her home. What?
A 13-year-old's gone, okay, bye. And she's
And
gone,
then
okay.
Yeah, no.
Not, bitch, you're getting paid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she's also listened to a minor over an adult.
Charity's at work. She's hired a babysitter to come and watch the kids while she's working late at the bar, and you're going to fuck off home. Why come in the first place? Okay.
We're mad.
Yeah. Yeah, I am mad about it. I am mad about it.
That's ridiculous.
Right. Paris would go to the kitchen and get a knife. Ella was sleeping. He then proceeded to stab his sister 17 times. He strangled her. He then phoned a friend for a total of 6 minutes and said that he had hurt his sister. He then rang 911, who told him to do CPR. He was very persistent, as he said that she was already dead. He'd already killed her. He said that he was hallucinating and that he thought his sister was a demon. He kept resisting to do CPR. He then pulled her to the floor and proceeded to do CPR.
I actually killed somebody.
You think you killed somebody?
No, I know I did. My sister.
Okay, where's your sister now?
She's in the bed.
Is she breathing?
No, I lost. I feel so messed up.
Okay, calm down, okay? I want you to stay on the phone with me, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's your sister's name?
Her name is Ella. Ella Bennett.
How old is Ella?
4.
She's 4 years old? How old are you?
13.
Is she bleeding anywhere?
Yeah, she's bleeding all over the bed. Because I stabbed her.
What did you stab her with?
A knife.
Okay, where'd you stab her?
Lots of places.
Okay, Paris, where's the knife?
It's on the bed with her. I didn't mean to.
I know, Paris. Okay, I want you to stay calm for me, okay? Okay, listen to me. Paris?
It turns out that he wasn't actually doing CPR. He was pretending to do CPR. It was later found out that he was actually pacing backwards and forwards and counting with no attempt to save his sister's life. Right, so
I mean, I feel like from 7 stabbings and strangulation. 17 stabbings and strangulation that she possibly was already gone.
She was gone, but he didn't even try, babe. Like, he stabbed his baby sister 17 times, strangled her, and the first responders are saying, this is what you need to do. Like I say, if I can include the video call, the 911 call, I will. And he sounds very distressed, and they are telling him, he's like, I've been hallucinating, I'm seeing demons, rah-rah-rah. And they're telling him what could possibly help, because you keep the blood pumping, but he's like, nah, fuck that, do you know what I mean? Fuck that bitch. He sounds really sad, he's crying, but later his mum, she said that is not what Paris sounds like when he is sad or he is crying. So he is now, because people remember he is a psychopath. He is pretending to be sad and distressed. He's not sad or distressed at all. In fact, he probably couldn't give a fuck.
He clearly didn't.
He didn't give a fuck. But the fact that the mum
had to be seen and heard doing the correct
that's
thing,
what I'm saying.
Right,
and it's mimicry. But the fact that the mum was like, yeah, that's not what he sounds like when he cries. is fucking mental, right? And like, if I can put in the footage, you see this bloke and the way he talks and all that, and when he's asked these hard questions, the way that he is almost trying so hard to give a human response to something is quite terrifying. Right. Apparently, Ella was found facing downwards, another indication that CPR was not done.
Not done.
Yeah. Paris was arrested immediately. They then sent an officer who went to Charity's work at the bar to tell her that her daughter was hurt. She immediately wanted to go to Ella, but they wouldn't let her. They didn't tell her immediately that she was dead. She was thinking it was an accident had happened and that she couldn't imagine that her son had killed his sister, Charity.
Yeah, because like also the babysitter was there too.
Oh, what the fuck?
You know the babysitter?
Yeah, the babysitter.
That was
someone
looking after
broken
her
in.
kids.
Right. Charity believes that Paris said... Charity at this point believes what Paris says about seeing his sister as a demon. However, this is not what was going on. The police interviewed Paris and he kept changing his stories. He now says that he was sleeping next to his sister. He woke up scared from a nightmare and his sister was a demon when he woke up. No mention of where the knife fucking appeared from, but whatever.
Under his pillow. Standard.
Yeah, normal. That's normal. The police now start to doubt his events of things. Paris kept pretending to cry. The autopsy did come back. She had been stabbed 17 times, beaten, strangled, and Paris's semen was found in her bed and in his shorts. Yeah, you didn't see that coming, did you? Paris had been watching hardcore porn and watching snuff films. Snuff films is essentially porn, abusive porn that includes murder sometimes. It is now believed that this aroused him. The murder of his sister has aroused him to the point where he's ejaculated whilst committing the crime. Charity was absolutely mortified and confronted Paris and asked him straight away whether it was on purpose.
Did you ejaculate on your sister on purpose?
Whether it was on purpose or not. Reluctant to answer, Paris looked at her and said, "It took you fucking long enough." Obviously, when Charity realised that this was a crime, because obviously he's a fucking sicko, he's like, yeah, it took you fucking long enough. So obviously all that fakery is then gone. So the mask is now off and he's like, yeah, obviously. She confronted him about the semen and he got really angry, punching the wall and flipping the table and walking off. 6 months later in court, the prosecution...
He's 13 at this point, right?
He's 13 years old.
Okay.
It's hard to remember, right? Right, so the case was very easy for the police. They didn't go much into his ejaculation, etc., why he did it. He'd admitted it, so it made it all very, very easy for everybody concerned. He received a 40-year prison sentence because he was 13 at the time. And this is the maximum he could have got. If he was an adult, he probably would have been put to death. The first couple of years, he refused visitors and didn't open up. He refused his mum, even though she kept reaching out. Paris would only talk to people in prison through drawings and letters he got. He also started to get into fights. He repeatedly hitting a boy that didn't hit back. Paris went under psychological assessment again. He has psychological narcissism, sociopath, fuck off. Sociopath, and obviously he is a psychopath. Paris did, he finally did accept visits from his mum and their relationship was strained. He continued to torment her by saying, "I did it to hurt you." I did it so you would lose both your children at the same time. I did this because you relapsed on drugs. He knew how to hurt her the most. Paris knew that killing Ella would send him to prison and he would spend most, if not all, of his life in prison. There's no emotions. There's nothing from him. He did this anything to punish his mum. After Paris confessed this to Charity, she did think about cutting him off completely, but she didn't. Paris's story continues to change all the time. It's like he's doing it to torment his mother further. He's always denied any sexual motivation behind the murder or becoming aroused by killing his sister. He then said that he put on the movies just to torment his mum further. But I personally believe that he was aroused by the videos and the killing of his sister. Later, he did admit to sexual motivation behind the murder. He said that he sexually abused her that night and he killed her to cover it up. But because he's changing his story so much, it's difficult for anyone to believe what he's saying. Yeah, we know the facts. The facts are there were semen in his shorts and on the bed next to Ella. We know that he stabbed her 17 times, he strangled her and beat her. Do we know for definite this was a complete sexual motivation? No, we don't. Do I personally believe that he is a sexual sadist? Yes, I do. He hasn't been diagnosed that though. Because obviously, I'll go into it more at the end, but obviously for a psychopath to feel anything, they have to work a lot harder than anybody else. Right, anyway. I know. He then later goes on to physically attack Charity while she visits him in prison. He flipped the table, I mean he likes doing that, pinning her against the wall and started to choke her. She couldn't breathe. She thought that she was going to die. He released her and let her go. So now anybody that visits him in prison, there is a glass like thingy bob now, so people can't sit with him anymore. And I'm assuming that's because of his violent tendencies. Charity now believes that he is going to go on and kill eventually. Paris likes the limelight. He has a profile on writerprisoner.com. I couldn't find it. I really did try. I even went on writerprisoner.com and I couldn't find his profile. He's very arrogant in his advertisement. He talks about how unique he is, how clever he is, and how lucky people would be to talk to him. He said that when the sorting hat was shuffled before tossing him into Slytherin from Harry Potter, it didn't stumble at all. Charity mum talks about how he was a wonderful child up until the age of 12 years old when she became distant from him. She keeps talking about how manipulative she is. Literally, this is the whole grandmother's MO. How all of them, especially Ella, were manipulated. This woman is fucking sick, yeah? She also sends Paris, I mean, I have put that in my notes. She also sends Paris while he's in prison.
My mother was sending Paris really inappropriate material for a boy in prison for murdering his sister.
He wanted a science fiction book, so I had it sent to him. And they denied it because inside the book, there's a picture of a woman and her breasts are exposed, but it's just a drawing. So he says, take the book apart, send me a chapter at a time. And when you get to the picture with the bare breasts, he said, tell Cayman just to draw a bra on it.
Let's see, raping women, murdering them, bludgeoning people to death. So I went to the authorities and I'm like, listen, my mother can talk to Paris. They can write letters. She can come visit, but no more books. That's it. No more books. And that's when I got sued. She and Paris sued me in 2009.
Which include murder after the sexual assault of these anime characters. So
this is his
his grandmother is sending him these fucking weird anime, fucking disgusting shit, and then Charity has to speak to the prison and says absolutely nothing else.
But I thought when things go into prisons, it would all be monitored and scanned.
Yeah, but I think because it's anime, it was like a clause. Like she managed to get it through because it was anime. Do you see what I'm saying?
Because it was a cartoon.
Kind of. But it was going through, and then I mean they were
like
estranged.
saying, because it's a plastic knife, it's okay.
Exactly. But Charity and her mum are estranged at this point, and she's doing this shit. Charity finds out, and she's like, "Abso-fucking-lutely not." Do you know what I mean? I mean, to me, the grandmother is giving such effects of she might also be a psychopath, and I don't know if it's like fucking genetics, but I will talk about that. So anyway, so I'm going to jump back into the murder a little bit. So Charity's mum was married to her dad, as I stated at the beginning. Yeah. They separated and they divorced. This is before the rest of the marriages. She remarried Charity's dad 57 hours after they were married. That is when the hit for hire killed her husband. 57 hours. So it's even more obvious she married him and then had him killed quickly. So she remarried him to have him killed quickly so she wouldn't have to be with him, but would then inherit the ranch, the money, the company. I mean, she's like, if you look at her face in the interview, she's like, yeah, you know, I couldn't really grieve because I had a company to run. It's like, you fucking mad bitch. Honestly. So everybody kind of knows. She basically admits to it, as I've said to you before. She's basically like, yeah, I killed him. Do you know what I mean? Without saying I killed him, she's telling you that she had him killed. Right. Anyway, moving on.
I want to get off the ride.
Oh, Charity was 6 years old, by the way, when her father was killed.
Mm-hmm.
So, right. But anyway, back into where we're at. Charity has a boy now called Phoenix. She let Paris have a relationship with his brother, which is fucking crazy, right? By phone. He writes letters intending to give them to Phoenix when he is 18 years old. I can almost understand the mum seeing Paris. I can almost understand it.
Yes. Because at the end of the day,
it's unconditional love,
it's
right?
Her son.
Yes.
Although her son killed her daughter.
Yeah. To hurt her.
But why would you expose
a new baby,
another child, to somebody who killed your child?
It's fucking mental.
You.
It's at Ems. I'm telling you, babe. It's fucking mental. This whole case. Right.
Somebody take that child away and save him.
Paris talks about how he loves Phoenix, but let's everybody remember he doesn't understand what love is.
Because he loved Ella too.
He talks about how much he loves his brother. First of all, he's never met his brother. Second of all, he actually physically doesn't understand what that means. It's not possible. He might feel something, but he doesn't. Right. Charity has been told by professionals that she needs to stop wasting her money on Paris and start saving to change her and Phoenix's identity, to get away her son from Paris, because they believe he is going to kill her and her son. She keeps being told this. So anybody that meets and assesses him is like, he is going to kill you and Phoenix. But she continues.
I baked him a cake this week.
Yes, I love him so much. But they're like,
Listen,
no.
It's okay to love him, but do you know what? Go and do it afar.
They're like, no,
Say
you're not listening. He's fixated, and he's going to find you and kill you.
Is he going to get out?
He's going to get out of prison. I'll tell you when.
So he's like 31 now.
He was born 93.
So 31, 32.
Yeah. Right. They keep telling her, make a new identity and a new life for yourself. Paris says that when he's released, that he is going to kill his mum. So he's even said that, like, at times through this whole thing, he said he's going to do it.
So he said it, but he is still going to be released.
Yes. I'll explain to you why. I will explain. I will get there. I think that she's just trying to get as much time with Paris as she can until she can't anymore. She's making a mistake, in my opinion.
Massive.
Yeah. I've said again, everybody, professionals, everybody is saying he's going to kill you, including Paris. He's telling you I'm going to kill you, but here you are with your new little boy who could die, and the little boy is the spit of his sister. Anyway, right. Oh, that's right. So there are a few little updates. I'll tell you when he's going to be released. That's pretty much it. But I will tell you when he is going to be released. Right, Paris. Right, so he is up for parole, 27. Yeah, 2027. I don't think, because he's constantly assessed by psychotherapists and all this sort of thing, I don't think he's going to be released on parole. I don't think so. I think if they do, it's a mistake, because I think he's a murderer. I think he's a murderer, and I think he's a sexual sadist. I just do, from watching him, listening to him. But no matter what, because he was 13 when he committed the crime, he will be released on the 4th of February 2047, and he'll be age 53 at the time. No matter what, he's coming out of prison. Which is fucking mental, right?
You cannot release somebody who has verbally stated, I'm going to kill someone.
But they can, because he's done his time. Had he had been 18 when he committed the crime, they could have kept him in. But because he was 13...
No, they can't do that.
But they can,
They
and they
can't,
are.
because what they're doing is putting the public at risk.
He's gonna go after his mum and kill him. There is... I'm hoping I did put it in here. Let me just go back to this quickly, because I've just remembered I did put it in here. Right, so... They're on the June the 23rd, 2021. I couldn't find, but Charity Lee, Paris's mum, has a Facebook page.
Yeah, delete.
She also, I can't find it. She also opened a charity to help victims of crime, like, you know, murder, that sort of thing. People that have been, which is a wonderful thing to do. Mm-hmm. But there is there was a post that I found from someone saying that on June the 23rd, 2021, Charity Lee posted on her Facebook, I have now completely walked away from my eldest child and I am not looking back. It is one thing to be a child who makes horrible decisions. That's how she says it. Horrible decisions.
Oops.
Yeah, whoops. It is another thing altogether to have a 27-year-old man who keeps making decisions that put your family at risk. The final straw was learning he was involved with a woman who lived 2 hours away from us and was on a bond for planning a mass shooting. Boundaries have been crossed too many times. I've brought a gun, learned how to shoot, and I am good now. And, hold on. And said goodbye. I finally accepted that it is okay to love my son at afar, but really dislike the man that he is.
Too much information. Come back a bit.
Okay, yeah.
So he was
In a
obviously
relationship.
in some sort of relationship.
Yeah,
with
like a
pen pal.
Yes,
Some
yes.
bullshit relationship.
Yeah,
With clearly another psycho.
yeah.
And what he was telling her what to do, and she was going to go do this thing, or that
Right,
when
so
it got out,
from
they
what
were
I'm-
going to go do it.
I'm grasping. She is on bond, which means on bail for planning to commit a mass shooting. So she is on bond from the jail, like meaning she's on bail. Because
So what, is she also a young offender, and they've met in?
this is what I'm saying. So basically, he's like teaming up. He's teaming up with fucking wrong'uns. Like, you know, this is arousing. This woman is fucking sick like me. Do you know what I mean?
And this woman is out on bail,
Yes.
literally up the road as such from where
The mum is.
He
He could be
and the
saying,
brother,
yes,
and she potentially could be like
yes,
doing little drive-bys.
yes.
This is not okay.
No. So, in conclusion, I've done a little research, as I do. First of all, I researched...
Wait, has she? So Facebook
done.
is gone. Facebook is
It
gone.
might not be gone. I can't find her. I don't know why I can't find her, but I can't find her.
Well, hopefully because she's gone into like
Hiding.
and into sanctuary and
She's-
changed her name
yeah.
and moved fucking countries.
Yeah. It says
Not
that
just
she
state,
is a public
country.
speaker for, like, obviously what her son did, but...
There's too much information.
I can't find any recent footage of her doing that. The other thing is as well, babe, I don't believe Charity is innocent in
No.
her son becoming a psychopath. Because the home... I sound really, really fucking horrible after everything that she's been through, but I don't think she had any business becoming a mum. And another thing as well, there's 3 fathers to her children. She's with none of them, and she's like, we're better off, like, it's her whole fucking demeanour of it's all of it. It's really difficult to explain. But when you're watching them, you're like, wow, man, you're all fucked up. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, a psychopath and sexual sadism are related. Now, when I just looked at psychopath, obviously psychopath is someone that really doesn't feel at all, and works extra hard in risky behaviour to have some sense of something. But then I was like, is he a sadist? Like, is that why he beat his sister, became aroused and realised, do you know what I mean, sexually assaulting her, hurting her? Did he become, and then was like, oh my God, do you know what I mean? And gets off on the fact that he destroyed his mum. Do you see what I'm saying? Which is giving sexual sadism. Now, I haven't heard a psychologist say that, but it's my personal belief. Right. So a psychopath and sexual sadism are related, but different, yeah?
Right.
So the construct of a psychopath often characterizes by no empathy, emotion, and detachment. Mm-hmm. Many exhibit sadistic tendencies. They do not always display sexual sadism. I think he did when he murdered his sister. In order like he ejaculated, etc., which is excitement, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that he does, not only does he distribute the psychopathic tendencies, he's giving cray. So he, we know he's a psychopath and we know he's a sociopath. So we know what psychopath means. I've covered that. So they're detached. There's no empathy. There's no emotion. They don't feel anything the way we do. Love, compassion. There's nothing there. The disorder can be managed if it's caught early enough. Like, there are psychopaths amongst us who mimic behaviour to fit in. Something come to my mind. Also, I did research, are you born a psychopath or are you made into a psychopath? Now, actually, it is both. So you're born, like we talked about with the other fucking weirdo, Josef Fritzl. So there's something wrong with you when you're born, but you can go down path A or you can go down path B. Do you know what I mean? Can you control those urges, blah, blah, blah. So you're born with... I also looked at the brain of psychopaths. Now, their frontal lobes and the back lobe here is pretty much non-existent, which is where we get our empathy, our love, our caring, our understanding. Theirs isn't lit up, or barely lit up. So, yes, they can be made, and yes, also they are born that way. It's really both, which I found really interesting, because I thought you'd just be born a psychopath, but no. It is both born and then your environment that...
So potentially
he could have not have killed.
Can choose, or your environment chooses
whether you're whether you're a psychopath that kills or you're a psychopath that masks to fit in with, but doesn't...
You get those crazies, but you're like, that's wrong, and I'll carry on going.
Yes, it's not... Yes.
Please don't do that to me again, and then walk away.
Yes.
Or... you go that way.
But then if someone does it, they're not upset by it, they're not feeling it. Like, if I piss you off, you'll be like, Ellie, you've really hurt my feelings. And I'll be like, your mum. But anyway, and then I was like, am I a psychopath? But anyway, you will feel that, and I will feel inside, oh my God, I'm sorry. But they have none of that. They can pretend, do you know what I mean? But they won't actually fully understand while you're upset that your cat died. Do you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because there's no real... But the circumstances that led him to kill his sister, to hurt his mum, I don't think fully come from her relapsing on drugs. Because of course he had no empathy and no sympathy that she did that, but I think it is a combination of the grandmother, of the environment, and like I said, listen, I don't want to get a charity. I really don't want to be that fucking bitch. But when you watch, it's like when Ella was born, it kind of felt like he was on the back burner a little bit. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that it's charity's fault. I'm not saying
it's just the two of them, and then the next minute,
yes,
there's clearly a man involved.
Yeah. And never sticks around. She's like, yeah, I'm better off on my own. There's traits about Charity. And like I say, I'm not saying she's not a good mum, because how do we ever know what we would do in that circumstance? There's no way that I can say to you, no, I wouldn't go and see one of my children.
Possibly up to this point, before the second pregnancy, she possibly was a good mum. Because it seems like he was a happy child. He had friends at school.
Yeah.
It certainly sounds, I'm going to very lightly quote, a normal child.
Yeah. Other than obviously the toxic grandmother.
Like grandma was a little bit like, eh.
Grandmother was off her fucking head, mate.
See,
with no emotion.
She is giving me...
Psychopath.
A feeling that there was thoughts planted into him, because maybe he did feel sad, and she's like, what's the matter with you? And obviously I'm making this up in my head because I don't know this. And she's like, well, you don't matter now because mum's got a new baby.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like those sort of words were used.
Yeah, and then the fact
for the nan to then be like, that baby
is a manipulator. Is
like,
the weirdest fucking thing I've heard anyone say. That kick was on purpose.
Yeah.
Fucking bitch.
It's come to destroy you and your mother's relationship.
The whole thing.
But even
when you watch Paris, you can see that there's fuck all there, and he's trying his fucking hardest. So at one point, Piers Morgan shows Paris a picture of his sister, and then he's like trying so fucking hard to pretend. He's like, that was really unfair that you did that to me. I don't deserve to see a picture of her. There's no remorse. There's no I'm sorry. There's no if I could go back. There's fuck all. He is outright off his fucking head. So then we've got a sociopath. what is a sociopath? It's antisocial personality disorder. It's kind of similar, but not fully. It's a lack of empathy. It means you don't care and you don't understand people's feelings. That is, it's on the line, but not as severe as a psychopath that doesn't feel love, etc. It's a mental health condition. It's somebody that doesn't show any regards between the difference between right and wrong. Do you know what I mean? Also, let's take a minute, guys, to think about how hard Paris worked to fake cry and pretend he was doing CPR, and how devastated he was because his sister was a demon. Let's not. He also talks in interviews how he's not psychologically unwell, that he has no mental disorders. This is his view
of himself.
His view is
distorted.
I did it to punish my mum, but he constantly watches, so he gets off on people being scared of him. The pupils dilate. So before Emily came today, I was listening to 4 different psychotherapists discussing each part of his interviews, and he is going to be released. So if they haven't managed his condition, and that's all you can do,
have either, does it?
then he's very good at faking though. So you could, if you sat with him, you could believe it, but it's the details in the facial expression, the micro things that he does that give him away. And this is what they're able to. It's funny because he's like, I completely love Phoenix. But there's nothing in the eyes. There is no... So if you to talk about one of the kids, or I'm to talk about one of the kids, whether I'm happy or annoyed, I'll give a little grin, I'll give a little something. Do you know what I mean? When I say to you guys, they're the worst, but they're the best. It's an automatic thing for someone who feels emotion when you talk about people, to feel the emotion. But there's nothing, and he's trying so hard in the interviews to, yes, I completely love them. He also talks about how he could have even protected Ella from the world, or took her from the world to hurt his mum. I completely loved Ella so much, blah, blah, blah. But you can see that there's nothing there. He absolutely does not love these people, and his only goal as a child, I reckon the footage of him saying, what would hurt you the most? To lose both your children. So he was 10 when she was born, and she looks about 1. So he was having these thoughts about, how can I hurt you the fucking most? Because I think it sexually gets him off. That's my personal opinion on him. This is all sexual release because he's not feeling anything from anywhere. Not to say that I don't feel sorry for people that are born that way and can't understand what feeling is, but I don't think it gives you the right to.
No, I don't. I have.
He might watch us one day and be like, "Coming for you," because we are putting a podcast out about a psychopath that's being released from prison. You're like, shit. I'm busy that day.
Yeah, but I've got things to do.
Yeah, we'll be doing the marathon by then. We signed up for the marathon. Don't know why I went off topic there. But yeah, that's really... Was it easy to follow, or did I...
No.
You got it. Okay. Yeah. I hope everyone gets it. It wasn't as... It's not like I was given loads of timelines here. I've pieced it together, but I wanted to make it more on how I felt about the case as well.
I can't believe she went back to her mum's either.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe she was in a bit of a sorry state and she needed something to be. But... Oh my God.
I mean, it does, like, in one of the documentary things I watched, she does start talking to her mum again. And it's the whole thing is, I mean, even the body language of the way they sit away from each other and that, the whole thing is toxic. She needs to take little boy.
Yeah, she needs, I don't feel anything for mum.
No.
But she needs to make a real good choice right now for the child she has
got. What else was interesting that I didn't include?
Get out.
Yeah, 100%. So but Phoenix
here's your first chance to make a good fucking choice.
Do it.
Do it. Change your name. change your continent, leave, and
Change
give
your
that
appearance.
child a chance.
Yes, to not be killed by his brother. But it's funny because
That loves him.
I completely love you. Right. Yeah. But it's funny because so Phoenix was born with a heart defect, and in the interview, from the mum. So this is the mum talking about when she said Phoenix has been born. Paris Phoenix has got this heart defect, and I was devastated. I couldn't stop crying. Bitch, please, you don't give a fuck. If anything, I don't know if you've seen Phoenix, but I will include these pictures. How similar Ella and Phoenix are also scares me. Like, it scares me. Do you know what I mean? The fact that he was crying and devastated on a call when that's not even what he sounds like. It's scary to think that there are people in the world that are fucking psychopaths, babe, and they are walking amongst us. Not that I'm not saying everybody with a mental disorder is gonna fucking kill someone. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying this man is being released regardless. End of, full stop. There's nothing anyone can do unless he commits a crime. All the psychologists.
He's been aggressive in.
Yeah, but that was when he was a child. But all the psychologists, every single one I've listened to, have said this man should not be released. This man is going to kill again. So when it happens, it's not like,
good luck, bye bye now.
Unless
see you next week.
Which generally it is, unless he is fully watched closely. But if I was Charity,
he won't be watched closely. He will disappear, and he will be able to do that.
Yeah,
because by the sounds of it, he's made little links with other not so clever people.
Yeah. I wanted to see his profile. I really did. I wanted to read it fully about how fully in love with himself, because he's also got narcissistic tendencies.
Yeah,
so
self-obsession,
yeah,
self-righteousness.
Yeah, his opinion is the only correct opinion to manipulate. Again, they all kind of fall very similar. Obviously, you've got your extremes, and what I did, like I say, not in all of the things that I've researched, watched, etc. does it talk about the semen. It doesn't. So it might be touched on a little bit, but it wasn't really brought up in court or anything like that either. It was obviously evidence, but it wasn't.
I know you
like
said,
a bigger deal.
Yeah, I know you said that he sexually assaulted her.
Yes,
but
I believe that.
It sounds like he said it rather than that was proven.
Yes, but he didn't say that he had sex with her. He could be, like some of these psychopaths do, like sexually assaulting her in ways as he's beating, strangling, and this, he's then becoming more and more and more aroused. You think 13 years old, babe, and he's becoming aroused and ejaculating. That feels quite young to me. I'm not saying it's too young. I'm not a boy. I don't really know when all that stuff, and I don't want to talk about it either as I've got 2 kids, but I don't know. And that is why it was strange to me that nobody's really touched on, could he be a sexual sadist?
Maybe it's because he was a minor that it was never
fully investigated.
Yeah.
And he's watching
I don't understand how he's watching the porn stuff like that.
Yeah, he's watching the dominatrix, the murdering porn, all this sort of thing, and we're not talking about that either. Are we going to pretend that didn't happen? So how long had that been going on to the point where he got, well, I'm going to do that. I'm actually sexually aroused by these people's pain, which is new for me to have these feelings. He says that he's got this thing in him that makes him so angry, and it's like a build up, and I'm controlling that. I mean, everything is so monotone with him, and I'm controlling that, this, that, and the other. But I think I'll be more surprised if we don't do another documentary on him in 20 years than if there isn't one. And I mean, he's still got a long time, but he'll be 53 we'll be 60, whatever, and then we'll be like, hi, we're middle-aged opinion. Guess who the fuck we're talking about again? Do you know what I mean? Hello! Yeah.
That was us.
Because we're older. Hello, today!
I hope I've still got my teeth.
Yeah, it don't matter if we do or not, we just put our dentures in. But my point is, the fuck. And there's nothing anyone can do to keep him in.
No, I don't believe that. There's got to be some sort of clause.
There is no clause.
No, because he is a health risk.
A health risk.
To society. It's not just to his mum and his child brother. It's he is a menace to society. He is not going to contribute anything to society.
I told you, unless he was.
No, there's got to be a clause.
You're like, I'm writing a letter.
There has got to be a clause, because you cannot release someone that you know is a danger to themselves as well as other people.
Other psychologists said that. So when he's giving the interview to Piers Morgan, other psychological people that are assessing him said he's telling you what he needs to tell you because he's got a parole coming up. So all of this practice is for the parole board coming up. However, even if he's denied parole, he is being released on the 4th of February. When did I say 20?
Too soon.
20, whatever. He'd be 53.
2063.
That can't be.
No.
47.
47.
Yeah. He's going to be released.
No, they can't do that.
No, but they are doing it. You're not accepting it,
I
but they
will
are.
not accept that.
Unless
that is not okay.
Unless
they
he
need
does
to change
something.
the laws pretty soon.
But he can't. He's
They
already
need
been
to fix
sentenced.
that.
It's like a contract. He's already been sent. It's already done. It's done.
No, it can be.
He was a
It can-
child when he killed. Because he was a child.
He
This
gets a second
means
chance.
Yeah.
Even though he's already stated.
Yes. But now obviously the song is different. The song
The song has been different every single time.
I'm going to be good. I'm changed. Oh, he also says it's not fair that people judge me from one bad decision.
But it wasn't one bad decision.
One
It
bad.
was one fatal decision.
One
and then
bad
he went
decision.
into his juvie, whatever they put him in, and then he hurt other people.
Imagine
That's not just one bad choice.
Imagine describing your sister's murder as one bad decision.
I fucked up.
Literally, he's like, I'm not.
Slap me on the
I'm
wrist
not
and
that
let
bad.
me go.
I'm not that bad. Same as Josef Fritzl when we covered him. It could have been worse.
Could it though?
Well, I suppose
For
it
who?
could be.
For who could it have been worse?
This
I
is
feel
what
like
I'm saying.
Everyone that suffered
You
the
know,
most.
it's funny. I don't know if I was so emotional when we did Joseph because I was fucking due on, or because it was harder to talk about because of the captivity.
That wasn't.
No, and what made, like I said before in the podcast, it was emotional that they are finding their happy ending. This little girl hasn't found. There is no happy ending in this story, which makes me.
It's not. This isn't finished. This is not a finished story.
No, and it's quite scary to think he's
But
100%
this
being
isn't
released.
over.
No,
Whereas that story is over.
it's done. Yeah.
This is not.
No.
This has not got the end.
No.
Written.
We're right in the
Just
middle.
yet.
We're in the middle, and the only way to know is when he's released. We'll soon
This is
find
what's
out.
got to happen. He's got to walk out, and somebody's got to sniper him. Because then the end.
The end. I mean, what matters?
Mum and child have got to leave the country.
Yeah, because
They've gotta
apparently
go.
psychopaths become obsessed.
Yes.
Like an
And
object of
absolutely,
obsession.
he has enrolled these nut jobs to be stalking. Like 100% people are stalking her for him to make sure he can get to her.
Yeah.
Like he knows where she is.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, 100%.
Even if she's
in
already
the same
moved.
property. Yeah, no,
Even if she has
yeah.
moved right now,
Oh yeah, I don't know.
he knows where she is.
She needs to get offline as well. She needs to change her name, hide her identity, everything. I don't even have plastic surgery at this point.
Honestly.
Why has she ever told him?
Needs to disappear.
I don't understand why
And
she was
people
like,
need to
I'm
help
having
her.
a baby. It's a boy, his name is Phoenix. Not one word would have come out my mouth about another child that I had. She tells Phoenix the reason she sees him is because she wants him to understand what unconditional love is. And I'm like, that's not...
It's something he's never going to understand.
That's not unconditional love.
It's not going to... Because he could have known what unconditional love is with a sister.
The whole thing's fucked up. But that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it made sense and you
ain't
could follow along. Did you understand it?
Yeah.
Okay, good, yeah. Because I know I went off on little tangents, but it was because that's where my brain was, mate. Right. Like, follow, subscribe for more content. I'm not as stressed as I was last time.
No.
I'm just more like, please don't release him.
I'm not okay with this.
If you do
Release
listen to this,
bullshit.
Paris, please don't come and kill us. We're busy that day. And if so, I'll tell you where Emily lives first, yeah?
I live in America.
Yeah, me too. Down the road from your mum. Your mum and brother.
I'm not okay with this.
Bye, guys.
What do you think of that? What don't you think of that? I think